Hi guys, welcome back. So I haven't been here. Sorry, I didn't report on day 5 and today is 6. So I'm going to go a little bit over 5 and a little bit over 6. So day 5, I just didn't report last night because I had a lot going on. Nothing else. And it was a good day. I came home and was able to have dinner and do everything I need to do with my family, and it was great. Um, I was a little more tired, but that's okay. So let's go into it. We talked about a topic that actually came in from day 5 into day 6. So the topic for us at the Mayo Clinic was about, are you independent? Are you dependent? Are you a caregiver? And what does the look like? And are they balanced in your life? Well, when you're dealing with people with pain, we do need help, but there is a happy medium to it. I know for myself that I can get out of the car and I can do some shopping and I can kind of walk around, but there will be a time where I'm going to get too tired and it's going to get too hard for me to deal with anything. And I just have to know my limits. Well, as a lot of you know, I have 2 kids. I have an 11-year-old and I have a 3-year-old. So with having an 11-year-old and a 3-year-old, I fall under more of, I think, the caregiver thing. And I got kind of defensive when we were talking about this, and I didn't mean to, but it's just our human nature. So I'm a caregiver. I take care of my family. I take care of my husband, and I take care of my daughters, and I especially take care of our 3-year-old. And the reason it's unbalanced is because if it's not making me feel, not that it's going to make you feel good, that's not the right way to say it. The reason it's unbalanced is because I need to ask for help sometimes. And my husband's great at helping me with the kids. But there are times where maybe I've had a really long day and I'm just at that point where I'm like, okay, I'm done. And I do ask for help from both my husband and my daughter. And I'm very blessed to have an 11-year-old who actually is very insightful, and she sees that her offering me a little bit of help here and there can create a better environment for all of us. When we work together and we have communication, which is another thing we talked about, in fact, today was communication, then we understand each other and why I ask, for help with Riley, my 3-year-old, and why it's easier for us to, get things done when everyone's working together. So, with that being said, you have to figure out if you're independent, meaning you want to do everything on your own, which is also not such a great thing for us in the pain world because there are things that we need help with. Especially if we have tools to support us. Like if you are a person who walks with a cane, then it's almost going to be impossible for you to carry a lunch tray and food on it. And it's okay if someone comes up and offers you help. I know that there's a lot of us out there that are really stubborn that are like, I don't need help. I've never needed help, and why do I need it now? But we have to come to the realization that sometimes this help is there. Well, it's there to help us, as funny as that sounds, but it's not there to demean us. It's there to encourage us to continue living our life to the fullest. And I'm okay with some help. I'm okay with the fact that my husband went out and bought one of those bars that has suction cups on it, and it hooks to the side of the bathtub. Well, not the bathtub, but the shower. And the reason he did that is because sometimes I get unstable in the shower. And the idea was when I'm shaving and when I just need to hold on to the side of the wall, I have something. And there's no shame in that. At one point, yes, I probably would have been like, oh my gosh, I'm too young for this. Why do I need this? But that's not what this is about. This is about me accepting what's going on with me and understanding that there are tools and tricks of the trade out there that are going to help me. And help is good thing. If you are in any type of pain, acute or chronic, then it's okay to accept help. We're taught when we're going through pregnancy, if someone offers us help, oh, take help, take help. But why don't we work on ourselves as adults when we are in pain or in the healing process to accept help? So stop being stubborn and accept help, because if it's being offered to you, typically it's people who love and care about you. And that's okay and that's good. And sometimes it's strangers, at the Mayo, there's people that walk around that are volunteers. And if they see you struggling, they'll come over and offer you help. And obviously, they don't love and necessarily care about you. They might care about you as a human being, but, but it's okay to accept help. That's okay. And then today's conversation was more about communication. And we talked about passive aggressive, we talked about aggressive, and we talked about, just being a good communicator and what that looks like. And I know that I can both be passive aggressive and aggressive and sometimes a good communicator, but we all have these quirks about us. And there are times where something is said that I don't like, and I have a choice. I can ignore it, I can say something back, or I can be quiet and then make little quips about it. And those all fall under those three forms of communication. So when we work on that kind of stuff and communication, then we have a better understanding of what's going on. Well, communication is important because it's not just about what you're saying, but it's about what is communicated to the person you're saying it to. So just because I have a conversation with my husband doesn't mean that he understood everything that we were talking about. And I don't mean like, oh, I don't understand. I mean that maybe I wasn't good at communicating my point, and that my body language was grumpy. So maybe he turned off some of his sensors as far as, why am I going to pay attention to my wife if she's just complaining? It's important to think about how we present ourselves when we're communicating, and how, okay, I'm back. We had a dilemma, but now it's okay. So like I was saying, communication, if we work harder on communicating and being respectful when we're communicating, then it's a lot easier to communicate back and forth and to have what we're trying to be said understood. If not, it turns into conflict, and conflict can turn into arguments, and it can turn into problems, and then it turns into stress. And you know how this whole circle goes. I've already explained that before. So how do you communicate with people? Are you calm? Do you speak with them respectfully? Do you talk to them as their equals? I'm curious. I mean, you don't have to tell me, but just think about it for yourself. We also learned about our rights. We have rights to feel the way we do, and to say no to people and say yes to people. And there is, oh my gosh, 20, there's like 30 different rights that we have as human beings to feel the way and to do the things that we do. And as long as they're not hurting anybody else. And that's part of the communication, is that I have the right to tell someone, I don't feel like doing that, without feeling guilty. I have the right to say, yes, I would love to do that, without feeling guilty. There's a lot of this stuff that goes back to guilt, which I don't like guilt. But, there's other ones. I have the right to speak to someone respectfully. I have the right to, expect them to talk to me respectfully. And that's important to me, because in order to communicate, whether it's something that you like talking about or you don't like talking about, the only way that we're going to be able to talk to each other is if it's respectful and if it's in a kind way. And okay, I don't know if you heard that, but crisis averted. One of my kids jumped up, which knocked into the other kid, and it was thought that the other one was trying to hurt the other one, but that was not the case. So, speaking of communication, I went out there and I made them communicate and talk to each other about the fact that they need to be more careful and considerate of each other. That was just one of those takeaways. Anyways, so day 6 was a great day, and I'm really loving the program, and I'm seeing incredible leaps and bounds made by all of my cohorts, including me trying my best myself. And I'm really excited to see what the end results are going to be. I hope you continue, checking in and seeing what these are all about. There's so much more to learn. So if this is something you're considering, I'm giving you like the tip of the iceberg on what I learned, because I'm there for a good period of time. I'm there from, what is it? 7:45 in the morning till 4 in the afternoon. So it's a long time, and there's an hour lunch, and there are little breaks in between, 10-minute breaks for every session. So the other thing too is, full disclaimer, obviously I am not a doctor, I am not a psychologist. I'm just telling you about my experience and what I'm learning in the program. So please don't take my advice as doctor's advice. It is given to me by doctors and psychologists. But when it comes down to it, it is literally just the way that things work in there. And I just wanted to give you guys my take on it. So I hope you all have a great night. And I'll talk to you soon, and I'll try and check in tomorrow. All right. Thanks. Bye.